Hey guys, it's me. I'm back again. Had quite a week this past week, so if you noticed I haven't put up a video. I've been sick. I probably haven't even driven but about 1,500 miles this week. I've been doing more sleeping than everything. So here I am. I'm on top of the Delaware Memorial Bridge right now, and it's a shame I can't take the camera down out of the dashboard to show you guys what I'm looking at here. It's pretty nice out today, decent weather, about 50 degrees here according to the truck. But today I wanted to do that video on how I'm going to budget for my thru hike. So before I get started, I just want to say I am driving down the road, and if you guys hear some annoying beeping sounds once in a while, it's because this truck has a radar system that is nice enough to let me know when one of these dumb four-wheelers out here jumps in front of me, and now I'm suddenly following too closely because they don't respect my space that I need. So with all due, we're going to get started. So, how am I going to budget for my thru hike? Some videos on this, and every synopsis out there almost says you're going to run for an average of about $1,000 a month while you're doing a thru hike. That seems like a lot of money. So you sit there and think, I have my gear already. It's going to cost me $1,000 a month to thru hike? To hike through some woods. It's kind of crazy. Anyway, so doing research and everything, I kind of put together some common sense things. But first we'll answer a couple little questions that people ask is, does the cost of my thru hike include my initial gear, that $1,000 a month? Does it include my bills at home? You know, things like that. So, first I'm going to say, for me, the cost of my thru hike does not include, sorry, going through a toll booth here. It does not include the cost of my bills at home, my mortgage, none of that stuff. That's not part of my budgeting. That is money that is already set aside so that I don't have to worry about it. Those are my fixed cost. So if you are going to try to budget in, leave those on a fixed cost side. My variable cost sides are what I need to live and survive. Now you already have your gear. So equipment cost is not needed for this calculation on what it's going to cost you while you're out on the trail, because you already have it. So you don't need that money anymore because you've already spent it. So there's those two questions answered right there for you. It does not include the cost of buying all of your gear so that you can get started, and it does not cost your mortgage or your rent or your storage shed payment, vehicle, whatever else you might have at home. It does not cover those. So now we're going to your variable expenses here. Your variable expenses on a thru hike, I put in three major categories. You have your food, you have your fuel, and you have your shelter. That's like everyday common sense, three major categories that you could break everything down into. Now, yeah, I said fuel. I'm not going to be driving a car, and surely I'm not budgeting for using a lot of cooking fuel, but I'll get to my fuel category shortly. I want to start first with my food category because that is one of the most controversial topics that people have, because everybody eats different. Nobody eats the same. Nobody eats the same foods. Nobody eats the same amount of foods. So how are we going to break this down? For me, I am cheap. And when I say cheap, I mean I am cheap. I have tried to eat on $5 a day. And for me, that just does not work out. can't seem to do it. My budget always seems to come in to $7 to $10 a day. Now that's standard eating when I'm at home or when I'm out here driving this truck. That being said, that means I can go into Kroger, I can go into Walmart, and I can buy the food that I need in bulk because I have a lot of storage. So now first, let's think about this cost. Well, if right now, let's just say, for easier math's sake, I'm sitting at $10 a day for my eating, for all of my food. That puts me at $300 a month. Now for this, we're going to assume there's only exactly 30 days in every month while you're going to do a do hike. $300 a month for food is what you spend. Now there's variables. While you're at home, do you eat out more? Do you eat out less? That all affects that $300 a month. What kind of foods do you eat? Do you eat more junk food, ramen noodles, or do you eat more, we'll say, higher quality foods, meaning fresh foods? Everything kind of plays a role in how much it's going to cost you. Now, you got to remember, like I said, you could kind of buy, we don't want to call it bulk, but you could buy in bigger quantities because you have a refrigerator at home. You don't have a refrigerator when you're out hiking. I guess you could have a solar power refrigerator, but I mean, come on, that doesn't seem to make much sense. And are you really going to haul a cooler with 10 pounds of ice in it that's going to last you 3 days? I mean, you're talking a lot of weight there. So you're looking at buying items that come packaged smaller. Not only that, out on the trails, how often do you actually think you're going to get to go to a Walmart or a Kroger? You may be able to, but not often. So that leaves you shopping at Dollar General and gas stations. Now, I don't know how many of you shop at a Dollar General and a gas station right now, but if you think about it, you almost pay twice what you normally would pay at a Walmart or a Kroger. The problem with that is you're looking normal every day at $10 a day. So now we're going to pay double the prices. We're looking at $20 a day. That means your food expense just went up to $600 a month for a do hike. $600 a month for food now. So let's go a happy medium and we'll go to the middle. That $7 to $8 range a day. So half of 3 and half of 6, that puts you at $400 a month for your food. So let's start budgeting. Let's just say we want to budget tightly because we can't come across money real easily, so we're going to budget $400 a day for food. Or $400 a month for food. So let's take a side perspective here now. We have our set amount, $400. Let's just say you're thinking, well, I'm not going to eat all those crazy foods. I'm not going to cook. I'm just going to eat Trail bars and Cliff bars and protein bars and Atkins bars and those protein cookies. That's all you're going to eat. Well, let's put this one into perspective for you. Those are all about 230 to 300 calories each. And they cost anywhere from about $2.20 to $3 each. Now let's break that down. That's about 1 penny per calorie. Do the math. 1 penny per calorie. You're going to eat about 3,000 calories minimum almost a day while you're through hiking. So 3,000 calories at a penny. That is $30 a day. So you just want to eat trail mix, trail bars. That's all you're going to eat to save money. $30 a day. That is $900 a month. I really don't think you saved any money there. Now, there's one condition. You could go to Walmart, Kroger, and you can watch their clearance racks. Yeah, sometimes you go there and you could buy these bars for like 10 cents each. And man, 10 cents, even $1 each, you would save some bank. You would save some money there. Now, I didn't do the math on those, but you would just be able to hike cheap for food. It would definitely be worth mail drops and things like that in order for you to keep if you could stock up on those. So there is an idea for you if you want to do really cheap and you want to eat some of those healthy nutritious bars while you're out there. So we're going to put that $900 a month out to the side, and we're going to tuck it away for a little bit later. So we're at $400 a month right now for food. Okay, so now I want to go to fuel. Yeah, this is the camping fuel comment that I made earlier. I'm going to grab me a sip of coffee real quick. I don't always have Medagliadora with me, but right now I've got some Alpine Start. It is some pretty good coffee. Fuel. I guess you could count camping fuel as part of the fuel category, because you sure ain't buying fuel for your car while you're through hiking. If you are, I don't think you're actually through hiking. I guess you could be flip-flopping, so fuel could be a case there if you're section hiking. I mean, you could have that fuel cost, but my fuel category is more on the mental fuel. The fuel that keeps you going, keeps you moving. Now, some people might say, well, that's what food is. No, this is the other stuff, the entertaining stuff. So, let's say you get into town and you just really want to enjoy a nice fresh burger, a nice fresh pizza, a nice fresh soda, maybe even some of that good old vitamin B. You experienced guys know about that vitamin B. The other guy's vitamin B is what they call beer. Anyhow, you want to add some of that into your budget. That's fuel, it's just kind of being able to do those little things here and there. It's just one of those things that kind of mentally help you keep going. Other things for mental fuel, I would say wearing fresh, clean clothes. It's a laundry expense. When you're refreshed and you're smelling good, you get more mentally motivated. Shower expense. You had a very good, nice shower. And then there's your nice sleeping. Sleeping in a hotel room or a hostel out on the trail. Now, some people would tie those with showers. However, I am not. Hotels is your sheltering fees. So, let's get into the fuel aspect. What is it going to cost for fuel? Well, you had a long 4 days out on the trail. I say 4 days because they say, like the Appalachian Trail, you run into a town every 3 to 5 days. It seems about every 3 to 5 days, roughly, depending on how fast you hike, is what it seems for the Pinhoti Trail also. And everybody only seems to carry 5 to 6 days worth of food with them, so it seems like even the Pacific Crest Trail and the Continental Divide is 3 to 5 days. So using that number, we're going to go with 4. Let's say you go into town twice a week. Okay, I know there's not 8 days in a week, but I'm not going to divide numbers out 4.728, whatever the case may be. So we're going to assume there's 8 days in a week for this. So every 4 days you go into town. had a hard day on the trail, you've really been pushing and you want a little motivation, so you say, I'm going to have me a hamburger or a pizza. Well, we all know eating at a restaurant is at least $10 to $15 a person. Now, you're going to be eating in a trail town. I assume that prices are probably going to be a little elevated compared to normal. And so let's say you're going to easily spend a $20 bill eating out, buying you a sweet tea, unsweet tea, soda, and your meal, and maybe even a dessert. Just say $20. It could be more, it could be less. 20 would be a good average. Say you do that every time you go into town. You have that one really good meal. Notice I just said one. You go into town and have 5 meals if you want. That's going to elevate your cost. So, we'll get into elevating costs later. So, for now, twice a week at $20 a time is $40 a week. Again, for the sake of math and clarity, we're going to say there's 4 weeks in every month. Or better yet, well, it works either way. 4 weeks in every month. So $40 times 4. It's $160 a month in eating out expenses to help, fuel you along the way mentally so you can relax and have that little enjoyment and real nice meal, at least, when you go into town. So there's $160 a month in that category. Now let's just say you showered and you ate, and now you want to kick back and get some of that good old vitamin B. Now I don't know what they cost in trail towns, but I can imagine that it's not going to cost you more than $3 a beer, speaking in a bottle type. So say you have 2 beers and you tip the waitress. So let's just say, 3 is kind of high, I think. So let's say total for the 2 beers and your tip, you're looking at $10. Okay, so again, twice a week, that's $20 times 4, it's $80 for your vitamin B. So now that puts us for our fuel cost at $240 a month. Okay, so now I want to dip into the shower category. The shower category, I don't know exactly how showers are going to work out on the trail. I know when you go into town, they have hotels, maybe hostels. So obviously, if you stay in one of those for the night, you obviously have a shower. So you wouldn't have an additional expense there. I am assuming that somehow you can go into town and just pay a partial fee and take a shower somehow. So I know out here on the road and the truck stops, it's a pretty high price. It's $15 for a shower. So let's assume you have to pay $15 for a shower because you don't want to stay every night, every time you go into town in a hostel because of expenses. So let's say once a week you take a shower at $15 each to help with your, feeling fresh and to help push you along the trail. So $15 once a week, 4 weeks, we're looking at $60. So add that to that $240, and now we're at $300 a month for showering. Now, part of being in town and refreshing yourself is the laundry. Putting on some nice, clean, fresh clothes. Now, I know running around truck stops, it's about $5 to do a load of laundry. That's the washer and the dryer. Now, a couple of videos I've seen said that some hostels and hotels have it included, but yet we're not looking at always doing a hotel and a hostel maybe every time we go into town. So we want to kind of look at this cost in a little more of a perspective. So let's just say I've heard, about $7 for a load. Now, I don't know if that's washing and drying or not. I don't dry my clothes because I air dry. But that's why we're gonna stick with the $7. So let's say every 4 days, twice a week, it's $14. And you're gonna do that 8 times a month. So that's $56 on top of that $300. So $356 a month in the mental fuel category. So now we want to think about any other expenses we might have. What if some of your gear fails and breaks? Or what if you really just don't like a piece of gear and you want to get rid of it and replace it with something else, and you happen to be in a town where you can do that? We'll even chalk this one up to if you ordered off of Amazon before you got into town, or whatever the case may be. Then there is other costs, like you have to do permits in some spots, like I believe the Smokies. I know you have to make reservations. I'm not sure of the cost yet on like Baxter State Park and some of these things. It depends on your miscellaneous or miscellaneous. Yeah, I love to say miscellaneous. You gotta put that C in there. They put the C in the word miscellaneous for a reason, not to be silenced. So I like to put the C in miscellaneous just because I can. So to add to your miscellaneous expenses is going to depend on where you are through hiking. What trail are you on? Where are you hiking through? That is what is going to debate that. So sticking in the spirit of $1,000 a month and seeing how our food category right now is at $400 and we're at $360. Let's just say, since you only need, they say don't carry really much more than $100 cash on you at any given time on the trails. Let's just say your miscellaneous expenses is going to be left over of $40 because that cash is going to be for laundry, maybe a hostel, food, tip, anything like that. So let's put it at $40 for right now. So there's $400. For your fuel, your mental fuel expenses. Okay, really? Yeah, I'm missing $2 there. We was at $358 and I rounded it to $360. So, let's chalk that up to taxes, right? So $400 for your fuel, for your mental clarity, your mental push on going through the trails. Now, we want to talk about shelter. Your shelter cost, surely I don't mean staying in one of those, I'm sorry, my mind just went blank on me. One of those hiker shelters out on the trail. Those don't really cost money. Some people say there are sometimes some of those you can make a donation. But that is not what I'm adding in there. You have a tent, that's shelter. You have a rain fly, that's shelter. So what shelter expenses am I talking about? Well, your hotels and your hostels. You're going to go into town on occasion and you're going to go staying. Or you might even just pay for one because you want to take a shower. So, how much do those cost? Well, I really couldn't tell you. Although I did just see a video that was posted here recently that suggests an average of about $40 a night, I believe it was. But I like to use the good old round number of $50. $50 a night. If it's a little bit low, a little bit high, it winds up equaling itself out. So right now, say you go into town again every 4 nights. Now, me personally, don't really want to, because like I said, I am cheap. However, I don't know what internet and Wi-Fi is going to be like, and I'm going to want to keep putting these videos out there to you guys. So, in turn, there is a good chance that I will be staying in a hostel or a hotel a whole lot more. So I am going to be budgeting for that. So $50 a night, 2 nights a week, 4 weeks in a month. It's $100 a week. It's $400 a month. Yeah, $400 a month. Wow, that's a lot. I hope it equals out a little bit more than that. Now, the good thing about when you're in a hotel room is you have a shower. Some provide laundry. Sometimes when they don't provide it, I mean, it only costs like $1 or $2 to do a load. So it'll substitute some of those other costs. So the $400 for fuel, kind of take it with somewhat of a grain of salt. And you might even be able to put your shower and laundry expenses into that miscellaneous category. So now let's recap. Our food, $400 a month, we said. Our fuel, conveniently, it actually added up to $400 a month. Our shelter, weirdly enough, is $400 a month. Now, when I did these numbers before, I didn't do them on top of my head like this, but I did not come up with that. I think I came up a little bit different. They were about the same, but they weren't as rounded. Kind of works out for this video, so I don't feel as dumb by not knowing how to add easy, simple numbers. So, anyhow, 400 3 times is $1,200 a month. Yes, to go hike through the woods and to live like a homeless person. It's going to cost you $1,200 a month. Can you believe that? How can a homeless guy afford to live? It's crazy. It's insane. Anyhow, it's part of the enjoyment. So now we have our budget set. Now, how can we save some money? Before I go into saving some money, first I want to say, so I am actually going to be saving between $1,000 and $1,200 a month for my through hike. Because again, some of those costs will lapse into others. And if I am staying in a hotel room every 4 nights, I can subtract my extra shower cost that I added in, and I can also subtract my laundry cost that I added in into the mental fuel category. Now me, I don't drink all the time, so I don't expect to have some of that good old vitamin B. However, I'm just going to leave it in there because, you know, maybe I'll eat a steak in town and I'll have a beer with my steak. So, you know, that steak will add to my food cost. However, only having the 1 beer will take away from the beer cost. So again, it'll kind of equal out. So I'm going to leave the numbers in there. So how can I save some money? One, if I go into a hostel, let's say maybe, you know, I get with a hiker family out there. I just might meet somebody out there on the trail, and we keep the same pace, and we just get along, and we split a hotel room, or we split a hostel. That $50 just went down to $25. Now, if I just save $25 once a month while I'm out, I mean, just saved $150. 6 months, $25 a month. There's $150 I saved. Now, again, some hostels and hotels they do have laundry for free, some charge. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not opposed to washing my own laundry. So versus spending somewhere $2-3 extra to do laundry, one, I'm going to hang dry my clothes if I'm staying in a hotel room or a hostel at night. Two, you know how a washing machine works? Put your clothes in there, put your soap in there, fill it up with water, and this little agitator just sits there and spins it back and forth just like this. That's all it does, just like that, and it cleans it. You know how else you can do that? You could fill up a sink or a bathtub with some water. You could put some soap in that water. And now, I've started only using Dr. Bronner's liquid Castile soap, and that thing and stuff works for everything. I mean, I use it to brush my teeth, I use it to wash my body, use it to wash my beard, I use it to wash my dishes, I even use it to wash my laundry. It's very wool friendly also. So, I'm going to do free laundry. They're going to give me a sink or a bathtub, why not take advantage and save another extra $1? I mean, it takes you, if you wanted to do a shake method, it'd take you like 10 minutes to do a load of laundry. You know, I mean, think, a load of laundry. Man, that's a lot, but look at the clothes you're going to have. You don't have a whole lot of clothes, more than likely, out there on the trail. So, if you had to do it twice, say it took you an hour, you got all night. You got plenty of time. So you do your laundry. Now, if your clothes are really that bad off, then yeah, sure, I'm going to once in a while pay. So I could save some money there. My food cost is going to be a little hard one to save. So I'm going to save some places I won't save. I don't know what I'm going to eat on the trail yet. I try to stick to just trail foods while I'm out here in the truck on the road. But it's a little difficult. So I don't know how I'm going to do it. I do know that like Knorr pasta sides, they're really cheap. Rice-A-Roni, any kind of the pre-made. However, I do try to stay away from dairy products. Not because of any religion or animal rights activist or anything like that, just because it doesn't make my body feel really good when I consume a lot of dairy. So I try to stay away from the dairy products. So I'm going to limit my Knorr pasta sides and Alfredos and other things like that. So the cheaper meals like that I will have, but now one good thing that I have tried, thanks to Darwin, is couscous. Excellent for cold soaking. You mix some tuna or some sardines with that. Now sardines out on the trail, maybe I'll be able to bribe my wife into vacuum sealing them outside of the can. Most people don't like the smell, so that's why I said I might have to bribe my wife into maybe repackaging. That way I can still have them out on the trail. Or maybe I'll just have it as a one-night thing. But anything small that you can do to save money. Like I said, you know, my wife tends to know what kind of trail bars or protein bars I like. As long as they don't have whey protein. Maybe even buy a bunch of trail mix in bulk and a bunch of different nut butters in bulk and make your own trail bars and have them vacuum sealed and do a little mail drop. There is a little bit of money in a mail drop, but you know, sometimes it'd just be better to get a fresh perspective on some stuff, maybe top off, you know, like cotton swabs or anything that you might want to take with you to help clean your ears out. Sorry, not cotton swabs, but those would be Q-tips. It just really depends, but there are easy ways to save money. So, I don't want to keep rambling here, but if anyone wants to know, to do a do-hike, how much does it cost? My numbers are going to be different than your numbers. However, it seems the average out there, everything that I've seen says about $1,000 a month, depending on how elaborate you want to live out on the trail. I'm not going to be too cheap. I do want to enjoy some of the aspects of being out on the trail, so I will spend a little extra money, but I am budgeting $1,000 a month for a thru hike. That's every thru hike out there. It doesn't matter, because you have your three basic expenses: food, your fuel, and your shelter. That's it, bottom line. So $1,000 a month. Some things will equal itself out, some things won't, but we'll see how it goes. So that's it for my video today. If any of you guys that are watching this video have an opinion on what it's going to cost you to do a thru hike, maybe I missed something, maybe I'm over-calculating at something. Trust me, I hope I am over-calculating and it don't cost me $1,000 a month to do this thru hike. So I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions on what your research or what your experience has shown you about the cost of a thru hike. So if you could put your comments, maybe even some questions you might have about my numbers down below in the comment section, I would love to get any kind of, advice or comments that you guys have. I love feedback. That's how we all grow, is feedback. So my next video, I'm not quite sure what it's going to be on. However, I know that drive away, what I'm going to do to fund my thru hikes, is going to be an excellent way, and some of you may be interested in drive away, so I have decided that I am going to do a small 5 to 6 video series on more detailed what drive away is, what you need to consider before getting into drive away to make your decision, what you need to do to get into drive away or to prepare yourself to do drive away, then what exactly you do while you are doing drive away, including the equipment that you may or may not need, the expenses that you may have, the expenses you will have, and it'll fall into you are self-employed. So I will even cover a video on a little bit of the bookkeeping that will be required, as well as taxes. Yes, as self-employed, you have to pay taxes on your income because you are getting a 1099. And those taxes add up. Anyhow, without going more into it, that is the end of my charade on what I'm doing, but you guys can look forward to my future videos on how to get into drive away so I can help you guys have one of the best jobs to help fund your thru hikes. Best part-time job / full-time job I think you could have. It'd be great. Maybe I'll prove myself wrong. For now, love the hike, hate the walk. Let's get out there on the trails. Let's have some fun, see some sceneries, meet each other, just have a good old time. You guys have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching.